Good morning, everybody. Well, it's morning where I am at least. I decided I wanted to do something a little different today. Normally, I come in with an idea of what I wanted to talk about, but this one just seemed really fitting considering what I'm going through at the time. I've struggled with depression almost my entire life, and today it's been especially difficult. Actually, the last few days. My life's been pretty chaotic the last week and a half, at least by my standards. So my boyfriend had to have surgery on his knee, and I've been dealing with some gut health issues. So I'm on antibiotics, which gave me a sunburn and made my skin peel, which is really gross. And needless to say, it's just been a little chaotic. Not to mention it's getting dreary outside, and I don't do particularly well when it gets cold. So I've been in quite a funk, to be honest. And this morning, as I was journaling, I realized that there were only certain things I could control. I could control what I eat. I can control when I work out. I can control the negative thoughts that I've been having, but I can't control the weather. So instead of focusing on what I can't control, I decided to focus on what I can control. And I think that's really important when you're dealing with depression. There could be a variety of factors that are really affecting you during that time. But what do you have control over? What can you do about it right in this moment? Now, normally my instinct is to want to run away from these difficult feelings or avoid them or distract myself, typically with work, or watching TV, or scrolling social media, which I've also decided to cut down on a lot because I realized it wasn't good for my mental health. And as you can see right now, you really don't know what's going on behind the scenes in people's lives. Had I not posted this, probably a lot of people wouldn't know that I was struggling right now. But I wanted to kind of show you in real time how I deal with these depressive episodes, because I'm confident that I can help you do the same, or at least teach you some skills. So as we talked about, what do you have control over? Now, in some cases, it might be friends or family members that really bring you down. Can you limit your time with them? Are you eating certain things that could be affecting your mood? Our gut health plays a super important role in our mental health, and that wasn't something I realized until recently when I got on all these antibiotics. It completely suppressed my appetite, and food is something I normally love, but it's also a coping mechanism for me too. So what was really interesting is I started noticing that my mind wanted to eat at the normal intervals that I normally would, but I had no desire to do so. So then I had to take it a step deeper and think, okay, is there some sort of emotional response that's happening? So some of the triggers I discovered were I would run to food when I felt stressed, or I would run to food at nighttime when I was watching TV, because that was just a habit for me. So when I kept going to the fridge at those normal times and realizing I wasn't hungry, I had to realize there was a deeper emotional response beneath it. So food definitely plays a role in your feelings. Even exercise. Now, for those of you who really struggle with depression, it can feel like a huge burden just to even get out of bed in the morning. But I want you to consider small activities, such as going on a walk, or if you're in a warm environment and you can garden, or maybe even just doing some stretching. The thing is, once you get the momentum going, it's much more likely to carry you through the day. So I like to start out with something small and manageable, like I plan to go on a walk later, and usually what happens is I'll feel a little bit better, which will cause me to want to go do other things, like maybe make myself a healthy meal, or maybe I do decide to do a workout video and lift some weights. There is a snowball effect in the positive direction as long as you take the step to get there. And then the last one I want to address is negative thoughts. Now, these can be the most difficult of all because you've probably really committed to this role you've been playing your entire life. What I mean by that is that there's a story that you've been telling yourself about who you are. You're the type of person who can't do this, or always does this, or never has that. And those are absolute statements. And the thing about that is, once your brain hears an absolute statement, it shuts off all other possibilities from happening. So if you say, I've always been the fat friend, or I never get the guy, there's no room for other possibilities to exist. So in those moments, I find journaling really helpful. Write out the current story of what you're thinking about right now and experiencing, and figure out where you're saying those absolute statements. Because the truth is, there's always room for a new possibility. And you have to kind of address what those limiting beliefs are before you can get to that next level. So if you don't address the underlying beliefs and you just keep taking action, hoping that things will change, that's how you wind up in repeating patterns. So my advice in that case is to really spend a lot of time journaling or meditating or figuring out what that story is, that role that you've committed to, and start to think about what role you'd rather be in. If you've always been like the sidekick in the movie, now's the time to step in and be the main character. So what would the main character be doing? And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm making myself vulnerable to you because I don't want to be that victim on my couch anymore. I don't want to be that person laying around all day and being sad and depressed when I do have control over certain things in my life, and so do you. So if you have any comments or questions or things I can help you with, please feel free to leave me a message below. I'm rooting for you and I'm here for you. Take care.